This episode of the Lured Up podcast is brought to you by our Patreon. Everything we do here at the Pokemon Professor Network is powered by the community. You can join our community of supporters on Patreon for as little as $1 a month, and we offer a range of support tiers and various benefits, and all patrons are eligible to participate in our monthly Pokemon Go and TCG Live tournaments. Gym Leader Challenge coming back this month. Really excited for that. We also have a goal of hitting $500 in patron support, and you can help us over at patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. With tiers as low as $1 a month, you could support a collective of part-time, hard-working creators that have a passion for Pokemon, podcasting, and the community over at the Pokemon Professor Network. Let's get into the show. What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 317 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network, and today is Wednesday, August 14th, 2024, and this episode is streaming live on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. I'm your host, Ken Pescator. That's Adam Tuttle. Yo, what's up? What's happening?
Hey, everyone.
What's going on, man?
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Adam.
Just stressing about moving.
Adam's moving. I moved a couple months ago. Now it's Adam's turn.
Yeah, I did knock down my camera and kind of like take that down and move the light and everything. And then I was like...
and then set it all back up again?
Yeah, and then I set it back up. So
he was like, Adam texted me this morning. He's like, how do you feel about an audio-only podcast? And then about an hour ago, I texted Adam going, how do you feel about a video podcast?
I was like, we can do that. We can do that.
No, I'm excited. Shout out to everyone that's here in the chat already. Fisher J, Scipio, R.R. Kramer. R.R. Kramer saying, moving far? How far are you moving?
No, probably like 15 minutes away.
All right, that's not too bad.
Same distance from work, so it's like, I'm just kind of like moving like laterally.
See, I moved 25 minutes from where I was, and now I'm less than a mile from work, which is a game changer because I walk to work every day, which is brilliant. It's amazing. No, man, I'm psyched for you, dude. I'm very pumped up. We're all making vertical moves, man. So this is all good stuff. Can't complain. Stress is just a byproduct. Stress is the fuel that is burning off as we propel ourselves forward in this thing called life, right? That's what
right.
Maddie G in the chat. But yeah, we got plenty to talk about this week. We're going to recap the last week of gameplay, including the end of Adventure Week. Dude, that event seemed like it would never end. It was long. It felt long.
It went on and on and on.
Well, because it was the two-part event. We had like an event's length for taking over, and then the event's length before that. So when you put them all together and do-si-do and all that stuff, it felt pretty long. Worlds is kicking off this week, and there's plenty to do and watch and engage with, including a bunch of Twitch drops. So we'll talk about all that. Niantic put together a pretty cool roundup of top competitors at Worlds. It's over on Pokemon.com as well. Which is it's a cool like bit of street cred for some of the battlers, so I really dig that. Beldum Community Day Classic is this weekend, and you should play it because it's going to be awesome. And Mega Kangaskhan is going to be here for about another week. It's definitely one of the more sought after megas. Megas can be hit or miss. Sometimes people have tons of interest, sometimes they have no interest. Kanto Starter Mega may not be that exciting for someone, but a regional like Kangaskhan, when that's a mega, it usually brings some eyeballs and activity.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I happen to I just typically will have the game like up, and I just happened to glance over and I saw the Mega Kangaskhan. Wow, if I could speak correctly, the Mega Kangaskhan. I saw it and immediately slowed down and was like, I probably can't do it by myself.
You can't.
So I left.
But you can duo it, man. Why did you text me? You'll send me like the the random 1-star. You know what I mean?
Because you asked for the Pawn Stars.
Well, that's the one thing, the Pawn Yard I did. No, but you could actually duo this. So we're going to put together a battle party, and we're going to look at Poke Battler. We'll put together... just bring fighting types. You get a chance to use that Mega Lucario, so I'm excited about that. And we started up a little Poke the Bear over on Twitter.
Did you see how many times it dies?
Yes. We started up a little Poke the Bear over on Twitter about Wayfarer abuse. We've talked about this a ton on the show. We're very engaged in Wayfarer. We have the Wayspotters pocket. Adam, you're wearing your Wayspotters t-shirt. today.
I
is
am.
Which
I
is
was
awesome.
just trying to get a stop at my house.
No, but
so I had to wear the.
We talk about Wayfarer abuse a lot, and abuse in Wayfarer can come in many different forms. But I get particularly bugged about it when I see people touting Wayfarer abuse, and it may be that they don't understand that's what it is. Or maybe they just don't care. So we're going to talk about all that because I've seen some prominent creators kind of posting this stuff up, and we've seen it before, and it's like, dude, you probably shouldn't be drawing attention to that. And all like the hardcore wayfinders are like trying to find it on the map so they can mass report everything to get fixed. And then the hardcore players or the rural players, they get angry at the wayfinders, and then the wayfinders are like, clean the map, and then everyone else is like, why? It's an interesting conversation. So we'll dig into that towards the end of the show and keep that conversation going for the next week or so on social. But let's start off with recapping our gameplay. Adam, how'd your Adventure Week go? Did you get your Giovanni? Did you get your Cresselia? Have you done it? Do you
I
care?
did not get my Cresselia.
Okay.
I'm not so much caring as I did try and do a lot more. Since the last podcast, I probably done, I don't know, 35,
two rockets.
maybe 40. No, 35, maybe 40 rocket stops.
Okay.
Is like 30 more than I normally would.
Right.
So I'd say that's a big move.
Do you get more inclined to do them as a balloon, or do you do them because like I don't know, sometimes I want to get rid of the balloon and then that motivates me to do it.
The balloon during Adventure Week I wanted because then I have so many radars, so it just kept giving me. I know I can turn.
How do you have so many radars? Use them.
But it just like kept giving me Arlo and then Cliff and then Sierra, and I was like, oh no, I just need the grunts in order to progress in this task here.
Yeah,
so
and the leaders don't count as grunts, so I did get that.
That should totally they are grunts.
You kind of have to be smart going into it. I like to go in to the rocket events completely dry, right? No mysterious components, so I can start fresh, get my 6, get my leaders, do all that whole thing. But buying rocket radars has not been something I've ever been into. So I've never spent on rocket radars. Like, I know they've been parts of bundles and things like that, but I've never just bought into them. It's so quick to do rockets. I just don't, unless you're grinding, your the JT Valors of the world that are like, all right, guys, we'll be right back. He's like, all right, here's 54 more liters, like he's a machine. Then it makes sense. But for someone like me, I have no problem putting in the small amount of time it takes to do a rocket leader. And this is pretty much all I spend my dust on now is purification. So it's like, I'll do the grunt, immediately check it, purify it, transfer it, and I keep my living decks and all that. Oh, Jamal from the Way Spotters is in the chat right now saying, "Hey, nice T-shirt, Adam."
Oh yeah. I was gonna say, you notice the drip?
No, so I definitely heard and saw a lot of stuff on Twitter about people just being burnt out on Adventure Week. The first half of Adventure Week, and that was kind of like the Amora chase. We had that ran from. It was the 2nd to the 12th was the whole event, so a 10-day event, which is typically longer than what we see. We'll typically see the 2, 3, 5, 7, 9-day, but 10-day event is definitely long, and they did split it up with the Taken Over, but when it's all said and done, you're still 10 days in on Adventure Week, which was, I don't know, it felt very long to me, and when the spawn pool starts to feel like the norm, I was just burnt on it. I was just, the rockets ended up being an escape from the spawn pool because I just didn't want to catch this stuff anymore. It wasn't exciting to me. But, the rockets, getting the new rockets was great. The non-shiny Archon, like we saw and talked about last week. My Cresselia was pretty horrible. Oh, and did you hear?
As it should be, because you can purify it. So you have to realize that it could get a little bit better.
Yeah, people don't like purifying. Who's printing? Are you printing? People don't.
The online orders.
people don't like. Oh, making money, man. You make that play that noise again. That's fine then. The thing is, a lot of people don't like purifying legendaries because they're kind of exclusive. There's more value. I don't know. But did you hear about Shadow Lugia, which we had Shadow Lugia Raid weekend this weekend? Did you hear about it not working? There was an issue.
I didn't hear about it because I wasn't out doing any. I know I said I needed the candy. It was just such a busy weekend, with work. We just did so much. We went for like a night walk on Saturday night, went out, got kind of lost, but what's a little adventure without a little danger? So it got dark very quick.
Were there moose? Is that what the danger is when you're out late at night?
No. It was just getting like not seeing the right trail, and like Pokemon Go, I'm like, oh, okay, if I just go left, I should be all right. And we just backtracked to get to where we needed to go, but
it's like a Pope Dave stream. Get like snook.
Yeah. and then right after that, we went to the beach on Sunday morning, and just kind of left super early. And honestly, it was, shout out to the one person on the beach that was like, get off your phone. And I'm like,
nice.
Are you serious right now? I literally said to myself, I'm like, all I wanted to do was open up my phone and catch a Wiglet on the beach. Like,
did you get it?
I didn't. No, my phone didn't have service. So
it's like, dude, New Hampshire's like Mars.
It is.
I don't get it. No, but let me pull up Pokemon Go
But I basically
Hub.
wasn't around for a long time.
Well, it wouldn't have mattered, but it was APAC, the usual suspects that are getting hosed on the events, were the ones that were impacted here. The early time zones, Shadow Lugia Raid weekend error and compensation. Shout out to Kitty over at Go Hub. We're taking a look at this article. It says trainers, a problem has been identified that occurred in some of the earliest time zones of the world, meaning that Shadow Lugia could not be defeated. Once Shadow Lugia became enraged, it could no longer be defeated, no matter the circumstances. So what was happening was it would become enraged. You'd have a lobby of 20.
What about me becoming enraged?
Everybody's using.
What about all those
gems?
trainers becoming enraged?
They're all using gems.
What about all the wasted gems?
It would just
wasted raid passes.
Okay, well, Niantic has addressed this. Now, did they
good.
address the bans from all the Rocket stuff? No, they didn't do that. But they did talk about Shadow Lugia. And it says, trainers were investigating an issue where Shadow Lugia can't be subdued once it becomes enraged. As a result, Shadow Lugia will not become enraged for the remainder of the event. We will follow up on an update. Okay, so it made this easier for everybody. Their workaround was no more enraged Shadow Lugia. It made the Shadow Lugia raids that the rest of the world was able to do go quicker and easier. So that was nice. But then they came up with the follow-up and said, GMT plus 14 to plus 10 time zones who challenged Shadow Lugia while it could still become enraged can now claim a free box containing purified gems and premium battle passes in the in-app shop. Now, if you're out there raiding, right, and you do one Shadow Lugia and the thing becomes enraged, then you can't beat it. And then you do Lugia number 2 and it's enraged, then it can't come subdued and you can't beat it. How many raids do you do before you're like, hey, I'm done. Like, this is broken. Like, you stop pretty soon, right?
Honestly, it'd be 1, 2 the absolute max. If I did that and I wasted all my gems and I couldn't defeat it and there was like a lobby of 20 people,
that's what was happening.
I would be so furious. So luckily, I didn't battle any because I could have much stronger opinions. And
you're not in New Zealand though, so you're fine.
I'm just saying. Luckily, I would have had much stronger opinions and maybe had to take a step back.
But this begs the question. We talked about elite raids and how elite raids are broken and things like this was a shadow raid, like. When EX raids were a thing or elite raids first started, they were always broken and things wouldn't work. And now you have somewhat a regular raid day, albeit a shadow. does this really impact and hurt Niantic's credibility that they may have clawed back with the make good for Mega Rayquaza for Elite Raids not working?
Yep.
Because I figured with Elite Raids failing, for them to have the make good, and then that event go pretty well, and they let people remote it, and it kind of turned the sentiment around a little bit on rating, where it went from Niantic can't put out a stable product to, hey, at least they listened, this is a W. And now, again, New Zealand gets the shaft on Shadow Lugia. And even though it doesn't affect the rest of the world, it actually helped the rest of the world because the Lugias couldn't become enraged. People still get mad on behalf of the New Zealand trainers and still take it out on Niantic as if it impacted them. So it's like, I just don't see how Niantic can win if they keep consistently having a spotty product or an unstable product, especially in the early time zones, because it's just become so the normal that, like, we have it so good. We're almost last.
The butt end.
Yeah,
we get the fixes happen before they get to us. And I mean, I feel so bad for New Zealand because honestly, I don't know how much confidence I would have. I don't know how I would still be playing the game.
Yeah, Scipio in the chat said because you could trio it, so that changes everything.
Okay.
Because it couldn't get enraged. But you're saying that it would upset you that much that you'd go on another hunger strike.
All of these constant issues, I would probably have gone on like another step away from the game for a while. Like I don't know if and then seeing the continuous mistakes, I understand it's a live game and somebody has to be the guinea pig.
But wait, hold that thought. Why does someone have to be the guinea pig? I think that's the bigger question, because that's like saying, oh, it's okay, this is acceptable. Someone's gotta take the grunt. Like, why can't it just work when it hits APAC? Why can't it just work when it hits the first time zones live? Like I don't know. It sounds like Stockholm syndrome to be like, well, someone's gotta do it. You know what I mean? Like it. I think that they must be so burnt. As the Pokeball turns in the chat saying, not going to lie, I'm surprised Australia and New Zealand still play at this point. But I don't know. What has to be done? What is the major malfunction that causes a lot of these things that seem pretty routine to break in the first time zones, and then, in a matter of hours, they're recovered? Does that mean that with that many hours worth of testing, they could have caught this? Or is this literally something that only shows and rears its head during the live fire exercise? You know what I mean? I don't know. I just
feel like they should at least be able to soft roll stuff out without saying anything. And they're like, oh sweet, they released Lugia early, and then they try it and it doesn't work, and they're like, we never announced that we announced it yet.
Well,
you know what I mean?
They kind of mad. They kind of did this. Remember, the first 4 years of the game, events happened at Pacific time, regardless of what time in the world you were. So if it was broken, it was broken for everybody. The fix was, let's slowly roll things out to the world by rolling it out through real-time time zones. And even with that, Fisher J in the chat says, we need to have a Niantic employee explain why there are so many mistakes with raids. And is it due to too much data being pushed? Is it getting skipped
is it
what is it? What actually is it?
There's not enough staff? You're being overworked?
What the one dude who's knitting the server wires together to keep everything running. He's like, more wire, please. More wire. He's knitting.
Back in my day, we used to have to.
We just had a switch we could hit.
We had a Niantic cat who would just walk over and mess things up.
There's Niantic employees with the ellipticals under their desks, just pedaling away, powering the servers. Keep going. I don't know.
They have all their. They have one side has kombucha and the other side has Monster Energy
Dude,
drinks.
I don't know
Which
what
one
it is.
If just one person in your family has type 1 diabetes.
What the hell is that? No, it was just I had Pokemon Go Hub open and a ad just started screaming in my ear. Sorry about that. Scipio says, agreed. If I was in the Apex zones, I get burned as often as they do. I'd be very unhappy. I can't imagine. As the Pokeball turns, maybe they can cover that in the next dev diary. So these type of topics are the best thing that the dev diaries should have been, right? They should have been the explanations that these are the challenges we're faced with. This is, what we're dealing with. This is what we're up against when we have these kind of things happen in real time. It would be nice. Dude.
Yeah, it's super tough because we just want to know.
But like we said, they still didn't even talk about the bands from the grunts.
Yeah.
Like they still even talked about it.
We're still there. We're still there. We need to have some sort of explanation on it, like all this stuff. Please. We just need to know. Obviously, like we don't need to know names and who's at fault. I don't care about that. What I care about is why it's happening. The why. Like, we're curious. We're Pokemon Go trainers. We just want this game to work because we love it and we have so much passion for it.
No, I hear that completely. I just, unfortunately, they don't talk to us in a level we'd want about positive things. So I think just wanting them to, like, tip their hat a little bit and be like, hey, this is why, New Zealand is continuously getting the shaft. I don't know. I don't think it'll ever be a reality, and it's unfortunate, but it's rough. So if you were at any of the affected time zones, I feel your pain, but thank you for making Lugia easier for the rest of the world. We really made out on the back of your struggle, so thank you so very much. All right, well, let's move on to the future here, and what we have coming up next is the Worlds event, and Worlds is happening in 2 days from the time of this recording, and what's really fun,
way too soon.
Dude, it's fun living vicariously through everyone on Twitter and on social, posting videos of them on the plane and landing and getting to Hawaii and being in the sand and, having, just living it up, and it's really fun to see. I saw JC Pix posted a picture with JT Valor and a couple of gaming, and really, really cool to just see everyone together. I know Landor Alpha is there, Zoe is there, V is there, so there's a lot of people that are out there, so shout out to everybody who made it. But this is going to be a really fun event that kind of ties into what's really going on in the worlds right now in Pokemon, in the Pokemon franchise at large. So, Worlds is this weekend, 16th to the 18th. We're going to talk about why those dates are important and when you're going to want to watch live. If you go to the link in our description for the Worlds blog, it'll link you to the Pokemon Go Twitch channel, as well as the Pokemon proper Twitch channel. There will be avatar items you can get, and then in-game from Friday, August 16th to Tuesday, August 20th is the actual Companion World Championships event in Pokemon Go. Making its debut is going to be World Championships 2024 Pikachu with the scuba
Pikachu
gear
costume.
What do you feel? How do you feel about that?
I like the Worlds ones because they're meant to commemorate Worlds. You know what I mean? Just for the cat, like think about the super 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 casual Pokemon Go player. They're like, I'm gonna go see what's in the game right now. Oh my gosh, I just bought the stuffed animal, and then there's a Pikachu from Worlds.
That's exactly where I was gonna go with it. The plushie.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I remember like at Nashville, they had the really cool plushie with the guitar. There's always like that companion piece that you could physically get there. So I do like that. And they do make it accessible, which is really cool. So we'll talk about all the different places you can get it. But event bonuses, up to 5 special trades are made each day. And you can continue using frustration to TM away, or use charge TMs to TM away frustration. Did you get rid of frustration on any of your Pokemon during the Team Go Rocket takeover? I think I know the answer.
Oh, you were talking to me. What would you say? I probably don't play the game like you do.
Well, you're going to be able to TM away frustration again during this event, which is pretty good. Yeah, well, a lot of people. It happened to me once where I catch the Giovanni's Pokemon after the event ends, and I'm like, oh, I TM'd away all my, C dots with frustration, but my legendary still has frustration. I wish I could do it. Now you get to, the people gives you a couple extra days to complete your special research for Giovanni, get your Cresselia, boom. You could use your Elite TM or your Charge TM to get rid of frustration on it. Wild encounters, we got Mankey, Lickitung, Merle, Paldean, Wooper, Swablu, Fletchling, Carbink, Grubbin, Marini, Skarmory being if you're lucky. Some of these are pretty cool, but, PvP relevant. Field research is the Pikachu is in there. Swablu, Mindfu, Marini, so it's got some rare stuff in there as well. $5 timed paid research. 1 premium battle pass, 25,000 Stardust. Raber likes to stream. What's up, Raber? Encounters with Azumarill, Vigoroth, and Cresselia. So this is cool. It gives you a legendary encounter with the timed research. That's cool. But $5, dude. We talked about this price point. It's a lot. It's a lot.
They're just sticking us with $5. Pretty much. That's what it's like a super trend that's going on. It's
dude,
$5.
I buy everything.
More palatable. I know, but it's more palatable than the $7.99.
Yeah, but this isn't even a monthly thing. This is only a couple days worth.
No, that's what I'm saying though. It's like 5 is probably there's probably, I'm sure somebody in marketing is like looking at this or data or sales or whatever, and they're looking at it like, when we have the ticket for $8, it's much harder to get people to buy it, but it's super easy for people to spend the $5 one, even the $2 one, or they're probably still working on that to see what they can get away with. But
I don't mind $5 if they give you a bunch of consumables, right? Like, yes, I like when they're like, here's lucky eggs, here's incubators, like, make it worth my while. I'm gonna, they have to, of course, there needs to be some degree of separation here between this and just a box, right? Because if I'm gonna spend $5 this week on Pokemon Go, am I gonna spend it towards Pokecoins, or am I gonna spend it on a research ticket? So if someone has the $5 and that's it, if I was Niantic, I'd want them to buy the ticket, so that way they're engaging with the game during the timed research. It makes them have focused gameplay during the window. But if someone's only got $5 and they need consumables, they may lean towards buying Pokecoins because they're like, hey, man, I want to hatch eggs, or I need lucky eggs to level up. So I like when the $5 tickets come with more consumables. Or, like when they did the Eevee thing, they give you every single spawn from the event. You get every encounter with the event.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
That was wonderful.
Like the Ultra Beast, right? Like that makes it feels better.
Was probably the best one. It
feels
felt so good to have an Ultra Beast with the potential to have like PvP IVs.
And they still let the Ultra Beasts outside of the ticket be exclusive with the backgrounds. So they still gave other reasons to play the game on top of it. Yeah, very, very well handled there. In raids during the event, we have the Pikachu in 1-star along with Mindfu. In 3-star, Lickitung, G-Fisk, and Diggersby. Shadow raids, Magnemite, Dratini, Wooper, Gligar, Wobbuffet, Kirlia, Sableye. Nothing too exciting there. Lickitung, of course, though, for PvP. But this is really where the event kind of separates the casual player from the battler. And that's going to be the featured attacks that these Pokemon will know. Lickitung with Body Slam, Mindfu with a high jump kick, Quagsire. These are evolution-based. Quagsire learns Aqua Tail, Altaria learns Moonblast. Very relevant Pokemon with relevant moves. This is something that, a niche group of trainers will make sure they take advantage of during this event, because if you're not battling, you may not care that your Altaria doesn't have Moonblast, But I think this is very cool. I think that the Worlds event, I think it's a nice companion. Pikachu. You do get a cute Pikachu. So I want to jump over to the blog that Niantic put up regarding the competitors at Worlds, and this was pretty neat. First of all, I do love I love the Honolulu logo with the goggles. But just seeing each of the trainers here with a nice little bio about it. Shout to Dunebug. Dunebug was one of the trainers that Fleece King fleeced with the with the gifted subs. Junebug is on there. Polasha is on there. A bunch of really heavy duty, hard hitting trainers here. And even if you go to Pokemon.com on the Worlds page, they detail and give some background on the trainers as well. So it's just kind of cool seeing them in the limelight here. Junebug won 4 regionals this year, which was absolutely bananas. Or was it 3 regionals? Maybe it was 3. But yeah, 3 wins, 4 total regionals with 4 wins. Yeah, he's a beast. He's a total beast. 3 wins in the 2024 season. So yeah. But just very cool seeing them here because, Pokemon Go PvP is still kind of in its infancy. And from a promotional standpoint, it doesn't really get the same fanfare as the VGC or the TCG when it comes to competitive play. And the credibility
Which is unfortunate.
Sure, but it's growing, you know what I mean? Like, again, do they scale that back because the game's unstable? Maybe. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, if the game doesn't work, do they want to push? But
maybe they should just have Worlds in New Zealand.
the street.
I'm calling it right now.
Horton,
Next
what
year's
new
Worlds
follower?
in New
Thank
Zealand.
you. Yeah, dude, that'd be so funny. Like, and it's just at like the start of the 8 a.m. You know what I mean? The whole event is from 8 to 12 a.m. Nothing works. It's just like, see you next week for the makeup.
And it's like the game crashes every time you go into PvP battles. So they're holding on to stuff.
Oh, it's so funny. They end up just like, all right, he set up some Rock'em Sock'em robots with Pokemon dolls on it. Like, here you go, just battle it out. This will work. But no, it's very cool that the battlers are getting some flowers. So I'm definitely down with that. We talked about Twitch drops last week on the episode, and we didn't really know what they were doing, but the news has come out. And you can get this info on PokemonGoLive.com, the Niantic site, and worlds.pokemon.com. But it says, get codes for exclusive timed research during the 2024 Pokemon Go World Championships Twitch broadcast. So this is something that's unique if you're not aware. You can watch Twitch. You can link your Pokemon Trainer Club account and watch Twitch for 30 minutes during the designated time. It gives you a code. It gives you in-game stuffs, items, in this case, a timed research. So very, very cool. On the blog, it breaks it all down on how to get it and how to watch. Day 1 of the live stream says Day 1's 2023 Pokemon World Championship. It's Axum. So it says an encounter with Sableye that knows the fast attack Shadow Claw and the charged attack Foul Play, an elite charge TM, and more. So this is pretty neat. And again, you have till the end of the month, till the 31st, to like actually redeem the code that you do get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Day 2 is called Team Building for Great League. It says trainers who redeem Day 2's live stream code will get an exclusive timed research that focused on battling basics. Reward encounters include Pokemon that'll make a worthy Great League team. This is super cool. And it gives you different options to build a team based on the Pokemon that you encounter here. Dunsparce, Mantine, Pancham, Galarian, Weezing, Skorupi, Chespin, Jigglypuff, Shellos, Inkay, some Stardust, and some other stuff. So pretty cool how they're like helping you play through applying narrative to kind of a non-narrative thing in battling. So that's pretty neat.
So
And
it's
then
giving you one of the 3 options you have to choose? Is that kind of the...
it just says trainers will get to choose between the following reward encounters. So
Okay, I think the option 1 is
team.
probably the best.
Dunsparce.
As far as what you get out of it. Because Mantine is a beautiful shiny, and it's rare, at least I think so. Dunsparce evolves into the Dunsparce, which is going to be coming at some point.
You want an extra shiny of that in the bank.
And then Pancham, that's a good one. I just want a good one. I still don't have a good one.
Galarian Weezing for me is a holdout shiny, so I don't know. I think
yeah, okay. That
leave it
makes
to
sense.
me to like not choose based on battling, just to choose on the shiny I need. It's like the exact opposite of what the whole thing is about. It's like just forget the team. I need the shinies. Inkay,
And I
another one
have
too.
the Jigglypuff, the Shellos, the Inkay, the Chespin, Skorupi, Pancham, Mantine, Dunsparce, but You might be right with the Galarian wheezing.
And then there's a fun
It's a
little.
distinguished gentleman.
It is a distinguished gentleman. There's a fun little line here that says there are a slew of impactful changes slated for the upcoming season of Pokemon Go. Stay tuned to learn more details about the big shakeup. What does it mean? What does it all mean?
Could this mean we're actually getting like status conditions and stuff like
could
that?
this? I didn't even think of that. You know what I thought? Practice
That's
battles.
what I've been wanting.
I thought practice battles. I thought a free battle mode. What we've been talking about since the first day that GBL launched.
No. These are impactful. It's a slew of impactful.
Dude, status effects, held items.
Status effects, held items. Oh, wait. Well, what would you
choose 6, pick 3? A lot of stuff it could be. I don't know.
I don't know. That's exciting.
Yeah, no.
That's exciting.
You know, maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just literally just a hype sentence and that's it. Now, here's another thing that's really cool. It says Pokemon Go World Championships co-streamers, greetings from Honolulu. Tune into any of our official Pokemon Go co-streamers to receive the 3rd exclusive timed research for this year's World Championships. It says trainers who watch any of the following Pokemon Go co-streams between Friday, it's the weekend through Monday, they get that 3rd research. And it says, visit this page for a list of all co-streamers. So if you jump over to that and scroll down, you'll see that we'll get to the casters in a second. The co-streamers, Sunny, Digipop, Aura Laura 67, Buzzer Bob, Juice Prophet, Glowl, Electrikeely, PK Sparks, Curly Q, One Shot Girl, Jojube, and the homie PKMNCast, Steve from It's Super Effective. So I'll put the link to Steve from It's Super Effective, his Twitch stream. I'll put the link in the description. Follow him. Watch the co-stream. Jump on his stream to get that 3rd timed research, which is pretty cool. Also, shout out to the casters for this year's event. We got Kyle, Ross, Shy, Pablo, Chip Ritchie, of course, Kyle, Shelby in the TCG. Boo's been killing it. And but where's Will? Hold everything. Where am I? Where am I go?
The Wasi.
My go. I don't have go up. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling so fast.
Ross Gilbert.
Here you go. Speediest Chief. There's Will. Shout out to Speediest Chief. Soph Toph, Caleb Pang, friend of the show, Steve Sanders, 20 Butters, Wholesome's on there, Amanda Lundberg. She actually wrote the article on Pokemon.com that talks about all the trainers, so definitely check out all this stuff. It's just a flurry of activity, a lot of stuff happening right now because of World, so it's pretty exciting. So definitely make sure you check it out and support all these amazing trainers. All right, Adam, I say we take a break. When we come back, we will talk... well, you know what? We didn't talk about Beldum. We'll talk about Beldum real quick. We'll do a Mega Kangaskhan raid guide and battle party, and then we'll poke the bear a little bit about this Wayfarer abuse. What say you?
Yeah, let's do that.
Audio listeners, we'll be back right after this.
Yeah, what he said. Right after that.
What up, audio listeners? Video viewers. What's going on, chat? Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all of you. Yeah, if you're in the chat and watching this on Twitch or YouTube, make sure you give us a follow. We'd appreciate it much. Takes 2 seconds. And we'll change our lives forever.
People are saying that it will change our lives.
Casa the Cubone in the chat says, I forgot to get rid of frustration. Maddie G coming through. You get another shot. Happy hump day, day.
No, we don't need another shot.
I was glad to get rid of like 60 elite or 60 charge TMs.
Yeah, I just trash them.
Oh, God.
What am I going to use them for? Frustration on Pokemon that I just transfer anyways?
Not if you keep a living dex like me.
I gave up on that a long time ago.
You ready to get back up in here?
I'm ready.
And we are back.
And we're back.
from our break. Thank you so much for that. I just want to take a quick moment to give a little shout out to some of our patrons. Huge thanks to our gym leaders, Ben, DJ Wonderbread, GK, Hall Counselor, Joseph, Kimberly, Mythical Hitch, and Noggin Dude. Shout out to our newest patrons, Jew, Paulie D, and Michael Hall, who actually joined at the gym leader tier. Our executive producer tier is still available for Lured Up, but we do want to give a shout out to the other executive producers on the network, Tish Smith and Kate the Cons. Just check out PokemonProfessor.com for everywhere you can connect with us, connect with all the other shows on the network, and leave us some reviews, listen, all that stuff. Yes, let's go. Hydrate so you don't dehydrate. Yes, shout to the people in the chat reminding us to drink water. All right.
I already drank my water during our break.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's talk Beldum really, really quick. And this is
an Iron Ball Pokemon. It's the classic. It's a Pokemon. It evolves into Metagross. It'll get Mater Mesh. And there's a $1 ticket. And there's bonuses, which is hatching an egg, which is annoying. There's going to be showcases. There's event bundles. Looking for other trainers to play. You probably can't find any because you live in rural area and like me, and there's nothing. All right, Mega Kangaskhan, let's go.
That's horrible. The worst part about it was completely accurate. All the information. No, this is a good one. Make sure you connect with your community. There's going to be people out playing. Organize. If you see someone on the other side of the street with a wire sticking out of their pocket, you know? Say something to them. Be like, hey, come over here and be like, what up, nerd? Come on over here.
You want to play Pokemon Go with me?
With me? I'm good. Matty G says Adam nailed it.
Nailed it.
That's great. All right, let's talk Pokebattler. Let's talk Mega Kangaskhan. Adam, do you want to do?
Did we really just roll with the?
We're going with it.
Okay.
Do you do you want to do the honors?
Battle party.
Battle party. All right, we got Mega Kangaskhan here, which is exciting as this is an Australian regional. And
what do we call baby Kangaskhan? What's the baby called?
Mini Kangaskhan? I don't know.
We need to have an official card for that.
That's interesting. That's a good trivia. Do they? What? It's just a Kangaskhan, but is it Mega? What?
I've seen things where people think it's Cubone and all this stuff.
It's not. No, this is going to be. It's an interesting one because this is a very simple raid to complete. You need just 2 trainers. Megas, in general, have been made easier. But this one in particular, you should have no problem kind of getting through it with 2 level trainers. But it is normal type Pokemon, so just use your fighting types. And it says here on Pokebattler, beating Mega Kangaskhan should take 2 trainers with Pokemon of this strength. Make sure your group is prepared for the fight. We're going to keep all of our sliders on like we normally do with Pokebattler. They did add a slider for party power, which is pretty cool.
Oh, you gotta be in a party.
Well, I was messing with it.
What we're talking about? You gotta be in a party for the Dynamaxing.
Yep, exactly. We were messing with it, the party power slider, which it says it's beta. You can't really get all the accurate information for party play unless you input all the stats and everything. But I think this is really cool that this is on there. Wow, Horton What subscribed at Tier 1 for 6 months in advance? Wow. Say word. My dude, thank you so very, very much. That means so much. I appreciate it. So, if we're looking at Mega Kangaskhan counters here, at the top we have Mega Lucario followed by Mega Heracross. So, the 2 fighting Megas up top. Perfect time to use Lucario, right? You just got it. You have some fresh ones. You have some ones that may have not seen battle yet, I
don't think any of them are going to see Mega.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sending you raids. I'm sending you every single Mega Kangaskhan I see. I did one today with Mythical Hitch. It was great. But Terrakion up top as well. Shadow Machamp. Keldeo. Whenever I see the opportunity to use Terrakion, I will always use Keldeo. Yo,
I will
Horton
choose
What
not
just
to.
gifted 10 Tier 1 subs to the community. Shout to Horton What, making it happen in the chat on Twitch. Appreciate you. So awesome, so awesome.
Insane. Wow.
Yeah, Shadow Machamp, Keldeo. Yeah, whenever I see a time for Terrakion, I just say use Keldeo instead. Mega Rayquaza's in there. Shadow Hariyama. Remember I had a Hundo Shadow Hariyama and I accidentally purified it? Mega Blaziken is up there. Conkeldurr, Mega Alakazam. So plenty of Megas up here. We're going to go back and we're going to turn the Mega Slider off. And if we look at the list after that, it will reload.
Keldeo.
Reload. Terrakion up top, Shadow Machamp, Keldeo, Shadow Hariyama, Conkeldurr, Shadow Rayquaza, Galarian Zapdos. Yo, Galarian Zapdos with fighting spec is kind of cool. Sorry about all these alerts, yo. Horton What is making it happen. Horton What says, very welcome, guys. You both are hilarious and amazing for the whole community. Thank you so very much, man. That's
We
incredible.
appreciate that.
First time anyone's ever done anything like that, so appreciate it so much. Let's see here. Oh, Shadow Regigigas also on this list. So there is some diverse Pokemon here.
Whoa. That's number 10. It's too far down on the list. I don't
Should
care how
we get
close-
rid of Shadows and just move him completely off the list?
Yes, I'm going to get rid of Shadows. Yeah, we're going to keep the legendaries.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, then Pheromosa and Buzzwole have a chance to get in there.
So let's see what we got here without the Shadows. Hold on. Let me scroll back up. Man, we got so many notifications.
I guess my Hariyama is in the 10th spot.
Yo,
so-
Galarian Zapdos is number 4 if you take out Shadows and Megas. That's interesting. I almost wish I had an extra one so I could spec it fighting. That's super cool. But I'll pull mine up on screen. Hold on one second here. Let me get to it. Let's see. Battle Party. Whoop, whoop. Pull mine up on screen.
Did you get mine? You can see mine, right?
Well, I have your text that you sent me.
Text, yeah.
So I'm going to start with Mega Lucario, followed by Shadow Machamp. And then I just brought a bunch of Machamp because I'm lazy and they're all built up and they're cool. So I've got a Hundo Purified. I've got a Hundo Straight Up. I've got a 98. So I've got Lucario followed by his henchman. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it with a bunch of Machamp. And then I got Dat Cake in the back for moral support.
So what you're saying is anybody that you raid with, they'll be like, wow, he comes in handy.
I do come in handy. They give you. Anyone need a hand or 3 or 4? No, but look, this is an easy raid. I just, I want to rip through this as quick as possible, and I don't know, Machamps are always fun to have. So, and I'm assuming people are going to be using Mega Lucario or Mega Heracross. So, give me that extra fighting boost. Just use fighting. All right, Adam, what do you have?
All right, I'm bringing Mega Blaziken because it's 100%. All these are hundos. Shadow Machamp. Shiny Conkeldurr from Barcelona. My 100% Hariyama, Poliwrath, and Sock. Because when else am I going to use a Sock?
Can I show? There's Adam's battle party right there. I'm showing it to the world. There's Adam's party.
Whoa. You're showing it to the world?
Yes, your
You
hundos,
can't give
all
out-
of your
you can't give out
hundos.
that secret sauce?
Adam's amazing Shadow Hundo Machamp. Dude, that's the best. That is like the toughest Pokemon ever. Like, that is so cool to have that. I love it. So, all right. So you got a nice stacked party. We'll definitely. You know what? Let's duo one this week. We'll screen record it and post it on a reel or something like that. But shout out to everyone that's going to be doing Mega Kangaskhan. Let us know. Tag us on Twitter or send us a message or something like that with your battle party. Let us know what you're going to be bringing, and if you get that shiny, and what you would call baby Mega Kangaskhan. Does it have a nickname? It should.
Baby Con.
All right, final segment of the show is going to be a little Poke the Bear. I started this one this morning, so the community hasn't had too much time to kind of pontificate over it. But if I pull up some Twitter here, it says Poke the Bear community discussion Wayfarer abuse. What are your thoughts when you see screenshots of a map overrun with POI that are clearly the result of Wayfarer abuse? Do you want a clean game board, or the more POI, the better? So we've got a lot.
That's a pretty loaded question.
Well, it's not. It's pretty cut and dry. But so I posted 4 pictures here. The first one I'm showing on the screen right now has, I don't know what it is, like 10 gyms all packed in, pretty much on top of each other. This next one shows a park where there's like a bridge area that they've moved all these stops onto. There's got to be 20, 30 stops just like completely stacked on top of each other. Again, making gameplay utterly impossible unless you're just, have an auto spinner. This next one that I did share, I did get corrected online. This one was a little suspect, but I found out this was a Mexico City sponsored event where these gyms and about half the stops were sponsored. So this one actually is an abuse, so calling myself out on that one. But then this next one, clearly abuse during, just stacked Mewtwo raids, just piled on top of each other. It's just over the top. So this is what we're talking about when we mean location edit abuse.
All the good ones.
I wouldn't. So I asked the question, like, do you want to play here? Do you think this is a good place to play? And I'm going to read some of the reviews here, or the feedback.
Okay.
Kitty Pokemon's a lot says, I feel like maps like this look unplayable. How can you possibly make actual use of those stops and click spawns? I can understand abuse in rural areas, but in cities like this, I don't get it. All right, so this opens up another question. Is abuse okay if it's in a rural town, or is it bad anywhere? But I see what she's saying. But the thing is, the way that this abuse is a thing is because those stops, for the most part, are legitimate stops that have been placed in the legitimate location when they were first nominated and added to the game, but then moved to the new place. So you're not just building this area up, you're actually stripping stops from their actual geography. So I have a major problem with that. Alex Correo showing the Adam Driver meme, just wanting all the POI. Let's see. Vin's pause. If it's sponsored, it's not abuse. I said very true, but a lot of abuse happens at locations with sponsored POI, people trying to slide it in. Jason Cardinal says, I have mixed feelings about it. I would say, yeah, that's crap, but then living in a rural area myself, the few I've been able to submit when approved, half don't show up in Pokemon Go, so now I'm like, screw it. Let him have it. A lot of people feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that stinks too, because it's like, I thought I submitted a good one, and it wasn't very good, I guess, so I got it declined.
Mis Tu Pesitos says, for what I've seen, most of these Pokestops and gyms are Niantic-sponsored ones. Where I'm currently living near a train station, there are 2 gyms in the same place, and both are from Niantic. So this is interesting. He shows 2 stops kind of stacked on top of each other that are sponsored stops. That could happen. I've had that happen in Red Bank. Patters Eve, I don't know how to say that. Sorry. It says, be fun to go through with Go Plus. Otherwise, not more than that to the cluster. I can't even read. Charlie Campbell says, what a silly question. Anyone who wants a clean game board doesn't enjoy playing this game. So now I pose the question to you. Where do you draw the line in saying, because I wrote, I love this game and I also want a clean game board. So, what do you think about this? Because where do you draw the line and say, hey, is there anything such as acceptable abuse? And again, we're not talking about a few meters between friends. We're not talking about, I don't know, coming up with a creative,
it's like force pushing, little free libraries, even though they're in the middle of your yard.
Right. This is true abuse where they're saying, hey, the mural that's really around the corner, I'm going to take it from that spot and say that it's over here by this bench where we're going to stack 10 other POI. I don't agree with it at all. Horton Wood says, also, if anyone wanted to lure a stop, how? Exactly. So even at Randall's Island in New York, the things were so closely dense. I was like, if you didn't have a Go Plus Plus, how do you even catch? Like, you had to move out of the areas to like get some open ground so you can actually click on something without. Dude, I lose my mind when I'm trying to click a Pokemon and it keeps going back into the stop. And it's like, no, still don't want the stop game. Nope.
Oh, gosh, that's like that.
It's so annoying.
It boils my blood.
Yeah, especially if there's like a rocket, like a grunt there. It's like, it's even worse.
Yeah,
it's even
I'm
worse.
Just like, oh no, now I have to sit through this animation.
All right, a couple more here. Louise says, party play helps you figure out which gym your group is in. Would love to play in an area like this. So this is like a wholesome response. Just like, yeah, this looks like an awesome place to play. And it does look like an awesome place to play if that's your style. But from a moral perspective, and again, people are going to be like, why would you apply morals to Pokemon? Why would you be like that? It's just because I want what's best for the game and the health of the game, and to make that work the best way in reinforcing what Niantic is trying to do with these games, the game board has to be clean, because then it supports exercise and exploration. And if someone's like, hey, I want to go to that mural, and they click on it and walk over to it, and then they realize it's just in the middle of a field, it's just like that breaks not just the mechanics of the game, but the spirit of exploration. So there's like compounding issues, in my opinion. Lamia says, it's not fair that some cities and countries or counties won't get appointed for sponsored gyms. Also think gym per cell should be increased to 5 at least. Only 3 per cell, no longer good enough. Actually, it's like, it really depends on the size of the cell we're talking about here. But from all the Niantic games,
I agree with that, because there should be, like, theoretically, for each one, there should be a nice spot where you could put it, one on each corner and then one in the middle.
Well, you got to remember, like, you could have one Pokestop and one gym can't be in the same cell. So it's like, by doing that, it gives you the space between the stops. But yeah, I think that the smallest cell that we're talking about here, where there's 1 per cell, is large enough that if you were to have 2 per cell, it wouldn't look like this crazy abuse, but it would allow for a little bit more of a robust or filled out game board. But a lot of times the people that are complaining about this, they don't even have the single stop, let alone I want 2 stops here. So it's a complex conversation for sure. Mikey says,
I feel like the only way to play in those areas is literally with the Go Plus Plus.
Yeah. Mikey says, how does this even work? Because the inclusion rules shouldn't even let this happen. These have to be sponsor stops. So the inclusion rules do not apply to location edits. So there you go. Shout out to Julian. This is the one here. This is the trainer who told me that this was a sponsored event in Mexico City. So shout out to him for calling me out on that. I responded saying thank you. AM Snackin' says, meanwhile, I have like 5 Pokestops in my town. And I'm like, yo, the Way Spotters can help you develop your game board. Dragon Rand says that I say this guy just want to play at home. Yeah, that's the thing. It removes the need for exploration and exercise. Community sees cheaters doing it, then most get deleted. Then players see this around the world, then try to populate their city or town legitimately. Then it all goes to crap. Since this is pay to play, offer more each tier for everyone's play. So there's a lot of just real negativity about everything when it comes to this, because people are so turned off. And it kind of makes me think of something I hear from trainers a lot when they first get into Wayfair. That first nomination, if they think it's a home run and they submit and it gets turned down, it's so hard to pull them back into the system, because at that point they're like, I tried, I did my best, I don't want anything to do with this, they burned me. So a lot of people get that, where they may not know the rules, they may not know the systems, they may not know the best practices. We're spoiled, right? We have Way Spotters on the team, so we know exactly what to do. But people may not know what to do, or they could be somewhere where there's 2 buildings next to each other that have the most amazing isolated murals, 2 different murals. And they're like, wow, that one's already a stop. This one would make a great stop too. And it could be in the same cell, so it's not going to show up. They think they did everything right. They have no explanation of why it's not showing up. It just doesn't show up. So Niantic definitely has not made it easy or clear for wayfinders. Are there a lot of tools out there? Are there a lot of resources within the community? Yes, but can you go to Niantic to learn it all? It's questionable. It's questionable. But I definitely want to continue this conversation online. Let us know what you think about this stuff. Did you enjoy the Randall's Island madness in New York City if you were there? Are you from a rural area where you would die to have 30 stops packed on top of each other? Or if you're already in a city that has a vibrant game board, does this seem like overkill and unenjoyable to the spirit of the game? So let us know what you think. Email us, luredup@pokemonprofessor.com. You can leave us a voicemail or a text or a video, anything, 732-835-8639. Adam, I think we could wrap up there. What do you think, man? You look a little tired. I think you need to get some beauty rest. I know you've had a long week.
I set my alarms this morning for like 7:15, 7:10. Woke up at 6:30. I'm like, and it's like if I go to bed, I'm like, I'm not.
6:30 would be sleeping in. That
up.
sounds glorious.
Yeah,
that sounds great. But all right, everybody, thank you so much for checking this out. Hydrate so you don't dehydrate. Thank you so much to everyone that's here in the chat. Make sure you give us a follow. If you're listening to the audio and you want to check out the video, jump over to YouTube and catch the VOD in a couple days. Otherwise, the audio will be up this Friday, the 16th, right in time for Worlds. And Adam, if that's a show, then I believe that's a show.
That's a show. Get out and catch or do some mega raids for Mega Kangaskhan. It's a regional.
Yes, it's a regional. Horton What, thank you so much again for supporting the community and supporting Lured Up here with all the gifted subs. We really, really, really do appreciate it. It means the world to us. So to everyone else out there on the internets and in your eardrums, keep training, trainers. Thank you so much.